Alright. Welcome back, everybody. We're here with another episode of Diamond in the Rough, where one of the most creative, mechiest, and ghostiest Terran players in the world goes out onto the ladder and shows us what he's got. Always new build orders abound, and I'm particularly excited because he's playing against a fellow streamer. This is Storm Gaming's Ruff, and we have in the top right a player who actually is a Masters 1/GM Zerg. This is Fried Pork. I recently dropped a game when I was doing my Bronze to GM Terran, and I actually played a mech late game versus Fried Pork, and it was one of my final games just before getting the GM promotion, and I ended up losing this late game where Fried Pork, I thought I was winning, and then he neural parasited like my entire army, and absolutely crushed me, and I was like, no way. So yeah, I got smashed. So I definitely see he's like in the late game, if it goes long enough, he's one of these Zergs who's very adept with the Infestors, which is one of the big comeback units first mech. I kind of wish I used it more when I'm behind, because I think it's such a good, like, if you're behind verse mech, it really can turn the game around. It's not super reliable and consistent, but if you're already down, you know you're struggling, it's like, hey, why not go for the big play that could bring you back into it? Of course, Ruff is a guy who is pretty consistently going to play mech versus Zerg. That being said, we have seen some weird like Hellbat tank pushes, Marine tank bunker pushes come out of him. And he's going to be starting this one up with the low ground factory. He's going to build a single Marine, go out there and try to hunt Overlords, which Fried Pork knows his opponent. He's sending the Overlord right to the left side of the map, nowhere near where this low ground barracks could get him with early Marines. And I think he'll probably wall off with either a reactor or a tech lab here as well. I think that'll create a solid wall, not completely sure. Now, Fried Pork has gone hatch gas pool, so a pretty straightforward opening. Nothing wild here. You can see makes that drone manually return. Fried Pork's a really good player, very mechanical. It really comes down to can he keep up with the twists and turns, because Ruff is rather unpredictable. And there we go. Builds a reactor, cancels it, builds a tech lab. Are we getting just a safety tank out? I do not like this build for Ruff. This is my least favorite opening for Ruff, because he has no scouting and he's just building a tank for safety. But if you're worried about safety, why are we walling off on the low ground? But the problem with a tank is it can't be aggressive. I almost prefer a Cyclone here, even though obviously Cyclone's very weak to ling speed. Yeah, he's just going to get a tank. So the thing is, you've delayed your expansion from a normal expand, and then you don't really have any like Hellion pressure, Banshee pressure, Liberator pressure for a long time. It's exceptionally safe because it's like the fastest tank of all time. It's just one of those things where I'm like, dude, you could have an expansion start a good 40 seconds earlier than that, 30 seconds earlier than that. Marine pressure here going to come out. Should be able to kill a few Zerglings if he micros it, but not really much hope of achieving too much. That is 6 Zerglings. Looks like he built 8 in total. But forced a few more Lings out, right? So there's 3 Zerglings there, plus the 7 and 2 more. Hey, you made him build 12 Zerglings. Those Marines weren't going to serve too much function, so that's not bad. And he's going to go straight double starport. So either could be quick speed Banshees, probably battle cruisers, I would imagine. And already 3rd and 4th gas for Ruff. My god, he's so gas heavy. The problem with this style, of course, is just how low he is on the minerals. Look, his main's not even saturated. He has to pull workers from the main down just to fill these gases up. And the Overlord's going to see it. Okay, I was like, the Marines aren't going to do much for you. Well, yeah, they could have denied this scout. This is so bad. Oh, Ruff is in a terrible spot now because Fried Pork can drone. He's going to get a really quick lair as well, so we can get a very fast Spire to respond to any battle cruisers. Viking will come out to deny the scouting. Tech Lab will go down, and I wouldn't be surprised to see like a fusion core maybe down there. Somewhere hidden from the Overlord. I guess now that the Overlord's on the right side, he could build it out here as well. But definitely kind of foreshadowing what you're going for so far ahead of time. Does let the opponent respond. He's actually going to go Engineering Bay. Interesting. Fried Pork going for that quick second gas. Now, if you do go for this very tech-heavy response, super quick Spire, the downside is you don't have as quick a saturation on this mineral line. If you saturate that, you can get a very quick 3rd, then 4th, and move forward. But the double starport demands respect, because if indeed it is double starport battlecruiser, and you can see the Overlord goes down just before seeing that the Tech Lab's actually upgrading Corvid Reactor. Oh my god, so he's going to do Raven Harass? That's a crazy play, and of course he has to macro on from there. He's going to hit a supply block here in a moment. Needs to start a depot. This is a nasty supply block. He's going building armor. I don't think there's any reason to go building armor this early in the game. I think Ruff playing a very weird style right now. And he drops the supply drop there to help him continue. But definitely, if he doesn't start... Okay, there we go. So he's got double depots building now. Yeah, if these Ravens get spotted, though, they could get shot down. Spy is going to be out. Ravens' best case scenario is if they have no idea you're going Ravens, and then by the time you start dropping auto turrets in here, you also get a Raven in the back, start dropping auto turrets there. They only just drop their Spire at that time, and you've got a few minutes then before mutas are out, and they hunt down the Ravens. In this scenario, you're going to get, like, very little damage off. Now, that being said, Fried Pork has over-responded with Spore Crawlers, right? 2 spores in the main, 1 in the natural, 3 in the third base. And not really going to achieve anything. 3 Zergling kills, not worth much at all. I'd love to see Fried Pork put some of those spores on the edge to zone this out. Looks like the Viking is going to hunt down the Overseer. Very important. Fried Pork will not know what's coming behind this. On the other hand, Ruff scans the main, sees a lot of Spore Crawlers in there. Does not know about the Lair and the Spire timing, though. So he might be under the impression that he's got a lot of time to really make these Ravens worth their weight. Third base will be floating down, but Ruff still has not finished building workers for his natural, let alone his third. And Fried Pork could take a 4th and a 5th base right now. Has freedom to do that. Is adding a Corruptor right now. Just a single Corruptor to start to kind of hunt down those Ravens. I think after seeing the Raven, you're not too worried about BCs, so even a couple Corruptors will be good. And Zerglings will come in. Uh-oh, auto turret's going to be needed to save the tanks. Does drop 2 auto turrets. Will lose one of these tanks. But that's okay. Cleans up the Zerglings, gets the third up and secure. As you can see, these SCVs still just incrementing out a little at a time, but it really feels like without finding a way to get any harassment in, there's no fluid pressure, and you're kind of relying on Fried Pork overreacting at this stage, which, to be fair, Fried Pork's economy hasn't been exploding to that 70-80 workers yet. I worry, though, that at this point, Fried Pork, creep spread, queens, Corruptors, you've got spores, you've got massive control, you've got Bane speed and Roach speed, you've got an infestation. To me, it feels like Fried Pork is about to feel very comfortable in this game. And if Fried Pork gets up to a 4th and a 5th base, I don't know if you can keep up pace with that. The factory transition's underway. I do really love this. I think that's really cool. I also like that the Ravens have been quite defensive, but oh, he's going in. You know there's Corruptors on the field, and this is not good auto turret placement. They're not going to do anything there. What is this? Ruff? Normally, he's so precise in what he's doing. What's he do? He kills two drones and a Spore Crawler, and now he's going to lose every single one of these Ravens to these Corruptors. There's no getting home here. Maybe he kills 1 or 2 Corruptors with auto turrets, but Fried Pork doesn't care. These are such valuable units. A terrible attack by Ruff, and he's not even macroing behind it. I think Ruff feels a bit helpless, and this happens sometimes. When Ruff commits to one of these big techs, like 2 Starport, it gets scouted. I feel like he falls apart a little bit mentally if he doesn't get damage early, because he goes, oh man, how do I find damage here? What can I do? And honestly, at this point, he's just got to lock things down, turtle up. He's got 2 tanks, 50 SCVs, and nothing else but a planetary on the third and some turrets. He's got almost no defense. He could get swamped even by Ravager Bane. The one thing going for him is if Fried Pork's kind of like me, in this scenario, you go, oh, there's mech and planetaries. I can't attack into that. That's good defensively. You're not accounting for the fact that Ruff did not build proper mech. There was no factories building this whole time. There was just 2 tanks, and only now is he actually starting to build a proper army. So because of that, you might tend to give him a bit too much time. And if you let Ruff get out 10, 12 tanks, bunch of Thors, get him to close the supply gap, things won't be so good for you anymore. And he's going to just pee down a missile turret to start. SCV tries to repair, but hey, getting a turret, not bad. 5th base is up. 4th base is fully saturated. Adrenal glands. The 1-1 upgrade's on the way. I mean, Fried Pork has got everything you need to play a late game here. The question is, what is the composition going to be? We see 12 Roaches come in. That means we're going to see Ravager Ling Bane, which is a fantastic mid-game composition. And Ruff will need siege tanks to deal with that. Right now, his Starports are building a few Vikings to help deal with the Corruptors, I guess. And then maybe he'll build like 10 Vikings, kill the Corruptors, and then go on an Overlord hunt. If you find a big pack of Overlords like that and kill them before he responds, it can be big. Bit of a gamble, though. And thankfully, for Ruff's sake, he is swapping into tanks. This Mass Ravager Bane is going to be really hard. 10 more drones on the way. Fried Pork playing very defensive and still building Queens. So the Queens are very good for mass transfusing like Broodlords, but they're not really good combat units, so they waste a lot of supply on units that don't do damage. Likewise, the Ravager, a 3-supply unit with very low damage output. So if you have 100 drones, 90 drones, and you have a lot of Ravagers and Queens, you might not have enough DPS in this army to make it work. That being said, that's a beautiful upgrade tab for a Zerg player. Burrow and Pathogen Glands. I told you guys about that Infestor tech. I'm always worried. I'm so traumatized because it was such a sick comeback that I told you about that Fried Pork made versus me on the ladder where I was hammering him. And he just took my whole army off me. So definitely I've got that one in the back of my head. The Corruptors are there. It's still a great supply difference as well. It's just the thing is Fried Pork's about to be maxed and needs to find a way to trade, and this might be that opportunity, but it's just Ravages. And damages the planetary, but doesn't really kill it or anything like that. The Corruptors are going to run in the main. Ping on the factories could be a big one. It's just going to go for the command center there. Oh, lift, repair. Guys, in this scenario, you just got to get out of range, and you see that Corruptor streams can only reach so far. So just like if someone's trying to pee on you guys, you don't need to do anything too crazy. Just run away. No one can sprint while they're peeing on you. So just in case you're ever in that situation in real life. Good piece of advice for everyone to remember. If someone tries to urinate you on you randomly, you should run away. Wow, life advice with Pig. What can I say? Very helpful as always, I'm sure. Supply blocked on 140 supply, but Ruff has a 4th base, and this is something he rarely gets. So the fact that he has that definitely makes me feel a bit better about his situation. He's got +2 vehicle weapons, but he hasn't had the gas to start +2 armor till now. So that's a bit of a struggle. He's got some Thor tank Viking. No Broodlords being made. Could a round of Broodlords be effective? Probably not. 8 Vikings and 4 Thors. The Thors are all in their single fire mode. Their 250mm Punisher cannons are pulled out on their shoulders. And +2 armor's on the way as well. An Infestor count up to 3. Building a few more. It feels like Fried Pork, a very good defensive Zerg, but maybe not that good as an aggressor. Because honestly, has so much money. I would have loved to see him just smash in on this base. There's only 2 tanks. Just run in from here and try to just overwhelm this base and then quickly pull back before the army responds. I think these are the sort of moves Fried Pork probably should be doing to trade. And this is something we notice a lot, right? Is players get in 2 mindsets. They're either just all-inning mech players trying to kill them, or they do the opposite and they have the same weakness I have, and I think Fried Pork seems to have, which is we're like, I'm happy to wait until you move forward and attack me. But it's like, dude, if you had a 50 supply lead, go attack them. Don't attack into this spot. But if you scout enough, you can realize there's less defense on the left. Attack that side. You get a good fight. Opening these rocks up gives you some good angles as well. Right now, though, 2nd Spire is on the way. We've already got a Greater Spire and +2 air attack on the way. Vikings coming forward, the army coming forward. This is mostly Banelings. There's no Zerglings in here. Oh, Fried Pork, get out of there. This is a terrible engagement. The tanks are pre-siege. His army comes in a big ball, and he takes an awful fight. His army got scanned. Fried Pork should have realized that Ruff knew he was there. If he came in with a bit of a flank, that might have been okay. The trick is, though, guys, there's no Hellbats left in here. Ruff needs to build Hellbats right now, but he's supply blocked on 172, and he's only building Thors and tanks. Guys, mass Zergling beats this army right now. If Fried Pork just gets mass Zerglings on it, there's only 1 Hellbat in there to counter the Zerglings. The question is, can he have enough supply of Zerglings? He's just built 100 Zerglings. If he flanks it, it'd be huge, but Fried Pork, he's not setting up a flank. Notice he's going to funnel into it. And I don't think this is the best engagement angle for Fried Pork. Is it enough, though? If the Lings get on the tanks, it could be big, but the Thors did a great job of tanking. And you can see not a great fight for Fried Pork. Does get rid of the front line, though. And he's building another 86 Zerglings. As long as he's got Banelings to clear the Hellbats, then the Zerglings can wreck the tanks. Normally, that's a hard ask, because normally there's 10, 15 Hellbats spread throughout a mech army. In this case, though, Ruff, he needs to pull back. This army is not a good army anymore. It's just undefended siege tanks. Now, he does catch some of the Lings rallying out, but he's got to watch out, because Fried Pork looking ready to pounce on this. He might be able to kill this one base. The Vikings maybe need to run forward and go find the Overlords as well. Oh, flanking Infestors. I told you he's a sneaky bugger. But then, no, he F2s them back. Oh, okay, he's going to try and land the Vikings. Is rough, but that's a pretty good engagement. Look at how quickly those tanks die to the Bile, the Zerglings. Vikings need to lift up and get out of there. This is not a great fight for them. Looks like he will push Fried Pork back, and Fried Pork definitely not trading well. But Fried Pork is mining these edge bases, which means he's literally mining 2 of the bases out on Ruff's side of the map. Every second that goes by is a disaster for Ruff. And once this army gets cleared, Ruff does not really have the production. He's only got 5 factories and 2 starports. This army's going to get wiped. Those Hellbats, very effective units, but you can see the Lings on the south surrounding the Thors. The Hellbats, it was actually kind of good the way Fried Pork engaged. He only went into the Hellbats a few Lings at a time, so their splash damage was not as effective. Finally, the Ravager Ling goes in. Oh, but look at that. The Vikings find the Overlords. I was talking about that earlier. Where are the Queens, by the way? I talked about Queens being kind of dead weight supply. Where the heck are they? He's got 10 queens on this map. I don't know where they are right now, guys. They're hanging out somewhere on this map. Oh my god, there's a Hellbat in this base on the left as well. Ruff finds that base. Very important. The Vikings are even going to land. They're doing great damage right now. You're in trouble right now, Fried Pork. Get on top of this, mate. He was so supply blocked, he couldn't build more units. He's trying to build drones right now, but he's only got 12 roaches. A single Hellbat annihilates 10 drones on that left base. Lings and roaches finally going to come in, and there's no escape, of course, for these Vikings. They can't lift off. But that was an incredible trade there for Ruff. I mean, that trade should have turned around really hard when his army died, but look at that. He's even going to land Vikings down here. So he swapped into Vikings. He's killed the Overlords, and this creates a lot of chaos. He gets rid of these two bases. Fried Pork needs to rebuild that base immediately and kind of reposition all of his workers. And then he still has a big lead supply-wise. He's got a big Ling Ravager army as well. If he just makes enough Banelings, I still think he could kill a Planetary. There's 2 tanks on the left, nothing on the right, nothing in the middle. But Hellion Runbys are going to come out. Uh-oh. Fried Pork's going for the attack. Fried Pork needs to go home and defend. He's distracted by these Vikings. Look at that. They just pick up and leave. He's got to get back there. Fried Pork, open your eyes, mate. Zerglings are not going to be enough to deal with this. Corruptors run in. They get caught by the turrets. Their Hellions are going for a barbecue. Uh-oh. Just when I thought Fried Pork could stabilize, Ruff finds a way to get in and do damage, and it's damage he needs, because remember, guys, he lost the core of his mech army. He's getting towards those 3-3 upgrades, but he's not quite there yet. These Hellions microing really well. As I said, Zerglings cannot deal with this. Fried Pork, they're re-droning, keeping that economy up pretty high. These Hellbats will fall. Every Hellbat kind of irreplaceable for Ruff. Remember, he's stuck on 4 bases. That's half mined out. This one's getting low on some of these mineral patches. A few of those getting a little bit low. This base getting resaturated, but look at that. A single Hellion. I think Fried Pork should probably stop focusing on this base. I think he's got to kind of reestablish control a little bit. I'll leave a squad of units down there, maybe. What's he building right now? Infestors, he's got Corruptors, he's got his main army. All on one control group, and that's kind of a problem for him. You can see with his 3 control group system, he doesn't have like a counter-attack or drop defense or run-by defense squad control group. We always talk about how if your army's on the bottom right, you always need a squad of roaches in the top left to defend Hellbat run-bys. That's like one of the most important pieces in becoming good versus mech. If you guys struggle versus Hellion run-bys and mech in the late game and in general, always, even if it's just 4 or 5 roaches, you always have a separate squad. So your main army's fighting and kind of controlling one side of the map and that other side is defending. But notice that Fried Pork doesn't have that. So these Vikings are going to run up and his whole army is going to get lured up there by the looks of it. Yeah. And that might allow Ruff to shove the right side. And if he gets sieged up, he might get a few bases. Now, a couple Overlords will die, but look at this. The Corruptors come in, the Vikings can just land. Because the army just got lured back. And he's absolutely getting pulled around. Even though he intercepts that one. Oh, the Vikings didn't land. Bit of a mistake there for Ruff. And these Hellions did actually get cleaned up. I thought he was going to get in with some of that. This is, once again, a push that's very weak to Zerglings and Ravagers. Because there's just no Hellbats in there to buffer for it and to deal with the Zerglings. But there's not that many Zerglings out right now. And Fried Pork playing a little scared. He's letting Ruff move forward. And he's really trying to wait for that perfect fight. You can see Fried Pork's taken some bad fights before and he's afraid to do it again. He's going to try and engage here. Dropped, was that 10 corrosive biles on 1 siege tank? Fried Pork just unloaded. It takes 3 biles to kill a tank. You can tell he just held the rapid fire down, made every single Ravager fire on it. Look at this though. These Hellbat harassments are really getting in under his skin. Just mass Zergling is actually what beats Ruff's army. And very few Zerg players want to mass Zerglings. He's making Banelings. That's completely the wrong unit. There's no Hellbats in here, guys. Not a single Hellbat. Ruff's army is completely misbalanced. But Fried Pork not making the read. He's just going, oh, it's a big ball of mech. He's not looking at it. He's assuming there's Hellbats in there. Banelings are really bad versus all these units. Mass Zergling would have done it so well. Oh no, he's got to give up another base. Fried Pork's economy taking big damage, but look at this, guys. He did split some roaches off. He's got that drop defense squad, so he's got a base mining down there. He's going to try and engage, but he's going around a corner. Oh wait, there we go. We're waiting for it all game long. The triple siege tank steal. The Thors get covered in corrosive bile. Oh, this is a huge fight for Fried Pork, and just when I was like, dude, just kill him with Lings. Just kill him with Lings. What are you doing? He annihilates that army, gets 100 supply lead. Ruff answers though with a barbecue. He'll just scan that. Yeah, Burrow ain't gonna save you there, mate. Oh my god, that was like 30 workers just went down, bringing up to 90 workers killed by Ruff. At the same time, he's burning down the bottom right. This base should survive. Oh, the roaches aren't fighting. The transfuses aren't landing. Fried Pork, wake up, mate. Those roaches need to fight this. Okay, the transfuses should keep that hatchery alive. This will go down. Almost loses the infestors by walking into that. Should kill this Hellbat. There we go. Hellbats, of course, have +3 at this point, so they are one-shotting Zerglings. But Ruff's out of units, so it looks like he is pretty dead at this point. He's going to swap into battlecruisers. 5 starport BC? This is like the last bit of resources. He can't secure these bases. So he's got so little money coming in now. I mean, it's more than Fried Pork, I guess, because Fried Pork just lost all of his workers and he's still able to mule. But it's going to run out, right? It's going to run completely dry. Another Hellion run by... Where's that Roach? Where'd that Roach squad go? Where'd that Roach squad? Here they are. They finally are going to defend this, but not before even more drones go down. And I think Fried Pork needs to hold that drone key down really hard. Fried Pork has a giant army of Ling Ravager and actually could honestly run in and just kill Ruff. Ruff has nothing. He has a tank there that literally is trapped in the mineral line because the turret's blocking it. He's got planetaries. He's got nothing guarding his protection. His protection. There's nothing protecting his production. There's nothing protecting his production, I should say. I speak good English. What can I say, guys? Ravager's going to come in and actually... Oh, they move into the Hellbats. He throws 2 Ravagers away. A little nasty. So remember, guys, Fried Pork's economy is really weak. He's building Infestors right now, but he doesn't know about the Battlecruiser swap. And Ruff's just distracting him with Hellions. Every one of these Hellbats is like, distraction! Hello, look over here! And he's just going to try and get out, what, 5 more BCs? I think he's just going to... When he gets 7 BCs, I bet you Ruff teleports in, kills the Spires, and then if he doesn't get enough Corruptors out, what's he got that shoots up? He's got 10 Queens, which I still don't know. Where are your Queens? Oh, Fried Pork's one of these players that likes to inject every hatchery. So he's got Queens on every base. Oh, he's got a few too many Queens out there, I think. Ah, okay. I mean, these Queens, they're actually pretty good versus BCs. So 10 Queens, easy beats 2 BCs. Unless you account for the fact that you don't have Carapace upgrades. Oh, no Carapace versus what's going to be +2 air weapons. That means the BC is going to be doing 10 damage a shot to ground units. No armor. So that's like 9 shotting an Infestor, 12 shotting a Ravager. And remember, they shoot about 8 times a second. So they're going to be killing these units so fast. So obviously, Neural Parasite could steal the BCs. You've got 5 Corruptors, which are useful, but you account for Yamato in here as well, which has been upgraded. This is very scary. Now, Ruff, once again, trying to distract with Hellion Cyclone. He's got to get out of there. He can't get surrounded. Oh, he kind of gets surrounded here. But that's a lot of Hellions, so he does wriggle his way out of that one. Planetary, the tank there, defending him as well. And Fried Pork's playing this low economy game. And Fried Pork, I think this is really wise if you are playing a normal Terran. Stay low economy, make sure you got plenty of Zerglings and Ravagers. He's learned his lesson from earlier. Just always have enough Lings and Ravagers and you'll be fine. Transfuse! He needs to transfuse or he's going to lose the hatchery. But no, he does chase Ruff back, get some of those Cyclones. So the problem is, remember, we know that Ruff is transitioning to BCs and doubling down on ground units off a small to medium-sized economy as Fried Pork right now. And the BCs pop. 7 BCs are out. 3 more building right now. He's still distracting with the Cyclone Hellion. Fried Pork feels like he's got him completely contained right now. Fungals being used. That's valuable energy that is not going to be Neural Parasite potentially. These 2 Infestors don't have enough for Neural. That one doesn't have enough for Neural right now. You need 100 energy for a Neural Parasite. He's got 3 more BCs. 10 BCs might just be the count, guys. Continuing to scan is Ruff and kind of see what am I up against? What am I going up against? Sees this base being retaken, spines being built there. There's a bit of bank building. The thing is, you really want to have at least 2,000 minerals in the bank so you can just, bam, build 10, 15 Corruptors once you see these BCs. If you can't do that, you might just die and the Queen's unable to keep this alive. These spines should have moved forward. Mass transfuse, not enough. And Ruff gets the base snipe. He does lose the Cyclone Hellion, but this is all a distraction. And this is the big move. He's going to go for it. It's the one last Hail Mary maneuver. I told you he's going straight for that Spire, guys. He doesn't know about the other Spire up there, though, right? Yeah, he doesn't know about the second Spire, so he might think he's killed it. That is not enough. 5 Corruptors are building. These Corruptors cannot fight. He'll Yamato you. So you've got to go in all at once as Fried Pork and Neural Parasite, but he can't get his Infestors Yamato'd, otherwise he's in trouble. So he's got to wait for the scan to run out before he fights. The Spores and the Queens just disappear in the main base. They don't do anything against that many 3-2 battlecruisers. 1 battlecruiser has lost 100 hit points. That's just about all that's happened. There's not enough damage here. Fried Pork's chasing him, but this is not a good fight for Fried Pork. He's going to start Neural Parasiting, but look, the Corruptors are going to get blasted, and then all you've got is your Neural Parasites. Scan comes in, and these guys come and just kill the Infestors. Fried Pork needed to wait for the extra Corruptors to come out. He had more money, but look, now he's supply blocked, and because his tech was under threat, he felt like he needed to fight right now. He Neural Parasites the units, but there's just too many BCs. There's no support. There's no protection for those Infestors. And oh my god, he's got such a giant ground army, which, by the way, guys, Ruff has 1 tank and 1 Hellion on the ground. I mean, Fried Pork can try to base trade here. But the battle cruisers, how do you ever answer those? Oh man, what a nasty comeback for Ruff. And you know, Fried Pork did such a good job of mining out this base and the bottom right base. But in the end, just a surprise, he's like distracting with Hellions, Hellbats. He's like, please just keep you distracted by this harassment. I just need, was it like 4 minutes, 5 minutes to get out 10 BCs? Ruff makes yet another ridiculous comeback after, let's be real, that early game did not go his way. And I do heavily criticize that opening. I think that opening with the early tank is trash. I think it gave way too much leeway to Fried Pork to like get to the next steps. Maybe there's a meta where Fried Pork kept all-inning him or something. But Fried Pork was ahead for most of that game. And we just see that fantastic comeback from Ruff. Great harassment. The battlecruiser swap catches him off guard. GG, well played, mate. Catch you guys next time. Goodbye and good night.